and do what I do in the playoffs.
Yeah, that.
To elevate my team to that level. I just never had a chance to all platforms. Because I never won a championship.
That's like an app. That's what I'm saying. That's no.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. But my fault. I was never put in that position. And they added another layer onto it. No. He gets traded or goes to Miami. I'm not talking about Rondo team, but I'm talking about other players. 1, that's 3, not 4, not 5. Now he put some of that on himself. Yeah. That. Now I know. But pause it. Don't get one of the Nuggets. But go ahead. No. Get my hand. No. You didn't do that. What is true about it is you're talking about a guy who's 40-something now. Right? This is what he's thinking now after he's done playing. Right. The early LeBron was doing the narrative. I even win championships. Right. That's for my legacy. That's what was pushed. It's what we're little. That's what was pushed to us. Win championships. But no one factors in the score at this organization. Right? He's in Cleveland. This owner doesn't know nothing about winning no championship. This is a business for him. So when he's sitting there calling him, hey, can you want to play here? Hey, I got this guy who wants to play here. Yeah, I can't afford him. You're forcing the player to think about his legacy first. Right. Then he leaves. Right. If you're in Los Angeles, you're in Boston, you're in Chicago, I've never seen one player in Los Angeles say, I want to leave besides the White House. I want to get out of here. He got kicked, right? I know he got ran out. Us fans, we ran him the fuck out.
There's no zooming.
When you're in a big city, you don't want to leave that city.
Let me get. I got y'all. None of the points that y'all are making ought to be disputed. It's just to be expounded upon. It's nice, that soliloquy that you just gave. It's just a whole bunch of nuggets that you left out. Number one, you already brought it up. Not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, or whatever. You were talking about how he attached that level of narrative. Fine. What do we think about? We remember that Magic had Kareem and Worthy and Byron Scott and those cats. We remember that Bird had McHale and Parrish and Dennis Johnson and stuff like that. We remember that Dr. J had Moses Malone. Let's not act like, oh my God, we see a player out there, what's he playing with, and we don't know who has the best, who has the peaks with him, and who doesn't. We recognize that. But it's also about your skill set, what you bring to the table, what level are you at compared to your contemporaries. So if I'm looking at, for example, there was a time when we were debating about KD. Was KD the best player in the world instead of LeBron because he's a pure scorer? He was 27 a night, etc., etc. We compartmentalized, we dissected it. We weren't saying you can't play. We weren't saying you're not great. We were acknowledging you are
It looks
great,
good.
but you're being compared to the other great ones. What was the ingredient
it's the delay.
of a Jordan? What was the ingredients of a Kobe? What was the ingredients of a Magic?
Okay, so it's a delay.
Because that's what it took to win
What was the
championships.
ingredient?
And what you had. And what you
Just to play devil's advocate, what was the ingredient of a T-Mac?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
But there's, wait, I just want to say, let me put there really quick, guys. So there's factors outside of your control in terms of a team effort, but the other thing where it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, you have to win a ring to be considered great, but then also, if you leave your team and you move around, then you're knocked for that.
That's not true.
No, they are.
It was good. Everybody talk. I let everybody talk. Whether it was Barkley, whether it was Malone, whether it was Patrick Ewing, anybody. When we've seen players that we labeled as great that didn't win championships. It's not like we said, oh, you have to win a championship in order to be great. What we're saying is we're comparing the very great ones that we all undeniably recognize as great, and how do you compare to them? We knew you didn't have the weapons. We got that. If Grant Hill was healthy in Orlando, we think y'all would have won a championship. But that's entirely different
no
than
zoom in
somebody
on nothing.
that goes to an NBA Finals, and all of a sudden, everything that you want leading up to that moment, when the moment arrived where what you, Patrick Ewing was great. How great did he look against the Lions? You see, it was a difference. So, in other words, that was your moment. That was your moment to shine. Barkley was great. What happened when he went up against Kobe? MJ. We look at stuff like that. We're not saying you're not great. We're not saying you're not a Hall of Famer. What we're saying is
choppy.
And we're respecting it. That's all. That's all. And we're looking at what you're doing. And by the way, Barkley had Kevin Johnson.
Press live.
They had a strong team now.
You better land in a good spot if you want to be great. That's all I have to say.
I'm just saying they're not great, but it comes off that way. See, we just called Giannis an underachiever.
Yeah. Exit out and do it again.
Called Giannis an underachiever. How does that diminish his greatness? Some of y'all. See, no, but you talk about the whole Jokic stuff. Wait a minute. What I said about Giannis, who is phenomenal, is that because of how phenomenal he is, if having captured a championship in 2021, he plays the next 8-9 years, and he never wins a championship again, you're going to look at him and say, damn, we expected more titles. It's not his fault. I didn't blame him for it. I just said, hold on. This goes back. After he won the championship, has he made it to the conference finals?
No.
Why?
Injuries. He was injured, the Damian Lillard got
So I played 4 years in Orlando, got ridiculed because I never got out of the first round. Grant Hill at the time was the best player on that team. This is my 4th year in the league. Grant Hill was the best player on that team. I'm playing 4 years without my best player, can't get out of the first round. But I get ridiculed because I can't do it. Giannis won a championship.
Time out.
Won a championship.
No.
After that,
Let me get back. You know, you're my brother. Here's the deal. Here's how you got ridiculed. Y'all were 3-1 one time, and you said, and you thought y'all had it in the bag.
can't find that.
No.
Can't find it.
One league. I'm saying that's not saying you're not great. It's saying that the moment arrived and y'all ain't close. That's all. It's a fact.
Y'all.
It's a fact.
Y'all.
Okay?
So y'all hate me for saying y'all.
I'm saying it's y'all.
You got to y'all. You can't use the entire because it's a school project. It's a team project. Right? There's an A student. Everybody else. So if you don't have other A students with you, like
I happen to know the He's also a pretty astute businessman. Now you have a team, but when you go to the negotiate table with team, somewhere along that yo, I'm here. So in other words, again, it's not all you because I'm not trying to say, nor have I ever said, it's not all on you. I'm saying when you talk about a narrative and how the public perceives things, it emanates from that because somehow, some way, they're looking at you and you're that one on
As a player, what's the most frustrating part of this conversation for you?
they separate.
Exit everything out. I know. Just do that. Like start over, sign in again, refresh it.
Your fault.